Morning, everybody. It's only Q&A again. Right, now I was going to do last week. I thought what we'll do, we'll make Sunday Q&A things you don't like about the CX. And a few people have told me things. I actually thought there'd be more. I'll be honest with you, I generally did, but there's enough. And then what I've decided to do, I'm going to do this as like kind of Sunday two-parter. In a minute, I'll go and do that as a video on its own. Because, in the interest of fairness, I think there should be a video that people can go to directly if they want to go, well, everyone said, he's telling me what's great about it. It sounds a bit fishy to me. What's not so great about it? So I'm going to do a video on its own. And also, it'd be good feedback for the people at CX, because I know they watch me. I know they talk to me now. And so I'm going to do it constructively. You've all been constructive, which is wonderful. They can have a bit of constructive feedback. So, besides, there's enough other stuff to be getting through as it is anyway. Firstly, before we go any further, my mate Nick, who's got his own channel, which is Harper Valentine, has done a video. We did that, I mentioned last week, things you can do in the van, to pass time, games you can play while, sit on your phone. And he said about pub cricket, and then did a whole thing on pub cricket. Well, he's done a whole video. I think it's taken about 6 hours on pub cricket. Now, he's got his own channel, Harper Valentine. It might not be for everybody, I'll be honest. He's an arty type, he's a drawy type, he writes, he's alternative sort of guy, but he has taken the special effort. So if you can, go to the Harper Valentine channel, watch the video if you can, subscribe if you like. He's, everybody loves a subscriber, trust me. I'm learning about this YouTube thing as I go, and they love a subscriber. But like I say, Harper Valentine's done a pub cricket channel. If you can, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. Right, so today, the first one we're going to start with is the van sizes thing. Now, I did a little thing about, what van sizes and how much per mile and all this kind of stuff. Rock on Alpha says, is there any chance of getting a link to the PDF? Do I look like I can do a link to a PDF? I haven't asked. I can barely press record on my phone. So, now I'll try printing it, and if I print it, it's a bit. What I might have to do is just write it out or something, and I'll just do my usual. Here it is, and put it on a video. But I can tell you where to find it. Donkey and Digger, Harry Haslan, and Offside Logic, and Clive Roberts had all said, where do you find it? Right. Now, if you're on the CX already, if you go on the desktop, in the top corner, there'll be them 3 little lines next to each other on the top right hand corner. Click on them. Then click on the bit that says knowledge base, and then click on the bit that says manage loads, and then this is 2 things about manage loads, but underneath it says see all articles. Click on see all articles and click on the bit that says what size vehicle do I need. But take it with a pinch of salt, because a few people have actually C11 Yan, he's my go-to guy. Ian, I'm sure you've got to confirm your name's Ian. I can stop referring to you as C11 Yan, please. He's the guy I think he's a shipper, and he's my man in the know. He's the one he's kind of like the oracle. And he says there's a load of dreamers out there. He says some of his favourite ones. He says people quoting £2 a mile on a short wheelbase coming out of Oxford at 8 o'clock in the morning, or Northwest 10 to OX10, £90. Yeah, that's not going to happen, is it, mate? He says my favourite one, 850 quid. Someone quoted from Slough to Blackburn. He says, I can put an 18-tonne truck on the job for that. So we've had a few as well, so, mate, I know how it stands. As I've had some silly quotes come in. We had, I couldn't cover one of my Metros job. We had to put it on CX. And normally I put the job on, it's only 30-odd miles. It was basically Dunstable to Euston Road. And we was coming in quotes in 120, 150, 250. It's 35 miles. In the end, we managed to get one of our drivers to do it, so it wasn't too tricky. OCOL, Adrian Tomlin, Alan Longfinger all think that these quotes are a bit too high. So, morning guys, just do me Q&A. All think they're a bit too high. I think they are too. I agree with you. I mean, I have done a video on how much I think you should quote to if you want to win the jobs. And I'm not being funny. When these silly quotes came in for the Metros job, I generally thought that hello, love, you all right? I generally thought that maybe I'm going too cheap. So I started putting slightly dearer quotes in, and sure enough, didn't win them. So the only thing I will say about that CX table is I think it's an average, and I think sometimes, we had a job come in which we had to cover, and it was 100 miles going from Norwich to London or something like that, and a short wheelbase. So we told the customer, well, 100 quid. Because you think it was 65p a mile, I'll get that job off for 65, 70 quid. No, closest we could get was £95. So at least we didn't lose any money on it. But then we're kind of new to this, as you know, kind of green to this, and I am going to make mistakes. And I should have thought, hang on a second, what's my chance of getting any availability in Norwich? But well, got it covered. So, but yeah, I think basically I've done a video on how much you quote. It's up to you. You quote what you like, and the cheaper you quote, the more chance you're going to have a win within reason. Quote too cheap, they're just going to think you're silly. But yeah, the CX table, if it's an average. That means that some jobs, like I say, that job that we had to cover for £95, which should have been a £65 job, is going to stick the average up. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, right, let's go to the other job. Like I say, I'll do the one about what's wrong with it later. Alan Rie. Can I make, going back to how much money you can make and how much you can quote. Can I make £1,400 to £1,500 a week on the CX with a short wheelbase? No. Wish you could. Great if you could, because he says that's what he's on already. If you're on that kind of money already on a short wheelbase, stay where you are. And incidentally, can I come and work where you are, please? Because I'm bringing in that with a Luton, working 5 to 6 days a week, all the hours God sends, and that's on a good week for me. I mean, I can bring that in by the time I take my D's and stuff like that. I can bring that in raw. You know, no, mate. If you want that kind of money, stay where you are. You're on good money. Stephen Whittington, he's between Edinburgh and Glasgow. He's prepared to tramp. Is there work on the CX? Yeah, there is. Prepared to tramp. Why not? Can you make money? And is it Zacklin UK? Is the CX better than running on Amazon? Yes. Amazon, it takes the mick. I'm sorry, but 50 drops, 100 drops, 120 drops a day for £125 a day, and you get fined if you do the wrong drop. Now, don't get me wrong, I buy from Amazon. And the reason why Amazon can't pay its drivers is because nobody wants to pay for the delivery. I'm getting my headphones coming today because I broke my last ones when I sat on them. Yeah, I want free delivery and I want it now. What else have I got coming today? A new little flask for a cup of tea. Free delivery, want it now. So they don't pay, and it's not their fault. They don't pay a lot of money because everybody wants everything for nothing. And while everybody wants everything for nothing, they're going to have to supply it for nothing. But yeah, the CX is better than Amazon, I think. Byron Masters. Will the ULEZ ever be taken out to the M25? Yes, I believe it probably will be. I also believe that eventually we'll all be driving electric vehicles, and possibly not in my lifetime, but in my daughter's lifetime, there will be flying cars. And robots. What's what a robot? It'd be great, wouldn't it? Do the hoovering. And the washing up. Well, you've got a dishwasher for that. Could load the dishwasher. I've gone off on one. What was I saying? Yeah, I just cross that bridge when you come to it, mate. And the truth of the matter is, you just charge accordingly. It's just a knock-on cost. If they suddenly say, well, everything delivered in M25 is going to be part of the ULEZ and it's going to cost another tenner for you to drive in there, we just put a tenner on the job. Customer's going to have to pay it. That's the way it is. Paddy McGurr. Well, there's a few of these, and Stephen Elcombe. What is the best van? Why do you drive? And another guy asked me about 10 questions. It's just one question. Oh, Nicholas, why Luton? Should it be sign written? Ideally, it should be plain. I like Lutons. I've found that heavy haulage seems to be better than... I find it easier to make money in a Luton than I do in a small van, but some people do make money in a small van. There is a video. I'm desperately trying not to repeat myself, but there is a video down there on the pros and cons of which van to buy, what advantages. Once again, Ian, I think your name's Ian, C11 Yang coming. He's done a breakdown. I think the argument is to get new or nearly new as best you can. People on the CX prefer newer vans, cleaner vans, non-rusty vans, and also he's drilled into. Like I say, he's a professional. He's drilled into the economics behind it, and he says, vans are a false economy. He says, he's broken it all down, and you can get new Sprinters out there, and by the time you've taken into account this, that, and the other, it works out about £108 a week. And so driving around in a new van, particularly one of them new Sprinters without, an automatic, be lovely, wouldn't it? It's like driving a Starship Enterprise. And you should easily be able to cover that money. So don't take it from me, take it from the man who knows. Basically, as new as you can. It's better for you. So there we go. Simon Cat, how do I join? I am going to do a video on how to join. I keep saying this, I'm going to master cards, and when I can, and I'll go click on the card and you can join, and then they'll pay me. Ring Will is the best thing I would say. The CX number is on the website. Ring up, ask to speak to Will. He's super lovely. He's the guy that signed me up, and mention my name. They're supposed to throw me some dough. They haven't yet, but they're supposed to. But yeah, just ring Will and say, do I want to join the CX? I'll take your credit card details and you show them all your payments and show them your documents and you're good to go. Andrew Broadbent, has CX integrated with QuickBooks yet? Not yet, but I'm still using QuickBooks. I can't really show you a video on QuickBooks because to show you how it works is to go, look, these are all the things that go down my bank account. It's probably not wise. But no, I think they are trying to do it though. I do believe they are trying to do it. So, Lee said, can you run at the CX evenings and weekends? Basically what he's saying is he's got a job that's running during the day, like between 8, that's the wife, between 8 and 2 or something like that. And he's like, when he finishes, he'd like to go on the CX for a bit of extra money. You can run at weekends and you can run at evenings, but there are a lot less jobs. The jobs really start pinging up about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. They tend to peter off a bit in the afternoon, and then they'll start pinging up again about 4 or 5, and then they'll dry up completely. So really, to get your money's worth out of it, the best way is to take it on full time. But you can do it. And in fairness, like I say, the way I always think of it, you've only got to do a couple of jobs and you paid it for the month. So yeah, if you say, what does it work out? Say it works about 70 quid a month. And if you do 2 jobs at £35 each, even in a little van, so you can make it back. Right, finally, Class 1 man and van. A couple of people have said that he seems to have gone and get himself a job driving a truck. He has. I think he's still doing the haulage thing. He's still trying to build up the haulage thing, and he spoke to a guy who's done his own haulage thing. But he went into a firm, and it's kind of those make me an offer you can't refuse type thing. And also he said he did have a week and a half where he was struggling to find jobs. Again, he was quoting 120 on a long wheel basis, so I've gone down to quoting £1. I think 120 might have been a bit away. He's gone down to quoting £1, still struggling. And then he said, I went in and they offered me healthcare, dental care. And he said, you've got to pay the bills. So, but he's still out there and he's still driving and he's still lovely. And I think he's still making the videos and, whatever, Darren, however it pans out for you, mate, I wish you the best of luck. I don't think he's come off the CX completely. He's just come off the CX right now. Because, like I say, and you're not tied to it. I'm not being funny, but if someone comes around tomorrow and they offer me a writing contract or something like that and go, we're going to give you an advance, I'll stop driving a van. But in the meantime, I'm driving a van. And the last word goes to RK on the video of delivering Elf on a Shelf. Still can't get my head around. And he said, good elf. Good elf to you, my friend. So that's it. The wife's putting the porridge in the microwave now, so I'm going to sit and have a coffee with the good lady and enjoy the Sunday. Sun's come out finally, it's stopped raining, and I hope you're well. And when we finish, I'm going to do that video on things you don't like about CX. Thanks very much for all your comments. Thanks for everybody who says you enjoy the channel. I'm helping you. I really hope I am. And you know what to do. Take care, take money.